It's up, it's good, and the Rams take a 7-0 lead. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. And the Cardinals with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Here's a throw out wide to Anderson. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick 1st down.
Defense gives up a touchdown on the opening drive. Offense, you got to want to get out there and get those points back right now.
And that's a sharp throw there to get this drive off to a good start. Catch is made by Marquise Brown. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Murray now. This is taken in by McBride. A big change in field position there. That's 40 yards on the catch and run. So how about this for field position after the big play? Inside the 15 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Throw left side complete. That's Anderson. Short completion, just 4 yards, and that'll make it 2nd down. But yet another completion here on this opening drive, and he's now perfect 4 of 4 to start. Pretty solid execution here.
And how about how everyone's handled their nerves? Because you know what it's like to start a ball game. You're so amped up and ready to go, but sometimes the execution isn't there. They've been flawless so far. Well drilled, well prepared, and excited to start this game.
2 yards the gain there, and now they're left with a 3rd and about 4 for a 1st.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. Cardinal football here to start quarter number 2 as they've got it with a 3rd down coming up. In search of 4 yards here to pick up the 1st down. On 3rd down, here's Kamara. And they'll get him down about 3 yards short of the 1st. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
Well, they certainly had success throwing the ball in this drive, and not as much running it as we just saw once again on that last play. Stopped after a very short gain. But I wouldn't abandon the run totally, because otherwise, pass rushers just tee off on your quarterback. Makes it very, very difficult for him in that situation.
Now Jake Elliott for the field goal try. From the left hash, a chip shot here. The kick by Elliott is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3. So both teams come away with points on their opening drives. Now they still trail. They answered the touchdown with a field goal, but at least able to break that goose egg here early.
And that is what's important, right? Because they didn't let that initial touchdown go unanswered. Took the ball themselves, moved it downfield, and put it through the post for 3 points. Game on.
After the field goal, here's Elliott to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And they had the touchdown during the last drive, and I'm guessing that you like the balance they had on that last drive.
And I loved it. Forget liking it. Absolutely love what they were doing because to be ahead of a defense that much, where every play call you have, run or pass, is working pretty well for you.
Makes you look like a genius.
It really does. It also lets you know that your preparation was pretty good, and now the defense has to do all the adjusting.
The full start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Now a give. Akers running left. And some room to run now. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. 48 yards rushing for him now, and he's carried the ball just 5 times. His first carry of their second drive, pretty solid. And, of course, remember back to their first drive, really strong throughout that one.
Not only is he getting good blocking up front, but how about his vision to find the holes? And he's seeing things before they even open and hurdling through them.
And he'll muscle his way up to the 43 for a pickup of right around 5.
That's a really nice, tough run inside, and they gained 5 yards on it. And to be frank about it, most offenses don't expect to get 5 yards on a play call like that. So when they do, they go back to their huddle with a little pep in their steps. They're starting to think that they're starting to dominate the line of scrimmage.
And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. That good for 22 and a first down. They've done a pretty good job containing him up until this drive, and until that run, there was no containing him at all.
Yeah, you're right about that. He finally popped free. But we didn't have to be in their practice sessions. We didn't have to be in their meeting rooms. They planned for a run like that to happen, maybe a couple of them. But what did they tell their guys all week? You know what they say. Move on to the next play. That one just happened. Let it go.
Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Oh, that's a real nice job there by the defensive front. They just engaged and held their ground. But how about the guy who made the play? We often talk about where they take a good first.
The Rams on 3rd down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be 3rd and 5.
Smash Bronco! 18, Pioneer! 18, Rattler! 18, Rattler!
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. That is caught. Touchdown, LA! A great play there. His 4th touchdown on the year, as his guys are able to extend their lead. The call is to go for 1 and kick the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he won't quite make it to the 25. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They trail now 14-3, an 11-point deficit as they start things out with a 1st and 10. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 33 yards that time. Here's Kamara off the draw. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
But they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run it and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
Now Murray. got a man. It's Brown. Oh, some strong running. And this is going to be another first down as the tackle's going to be made at the Rams' 26. Murray now to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 1:54 left on the clock here in quarter number 2. They had to settle for 3 last drive, hoping this second go-around ends in 6. In good position, 1st and 10. From the gun, Murray. And did he get the feet down? Yes, touchdown. Marquise Brown with career touchdown number 75. And the Cardinals are back within a score. Elliott good with a PAT, and that makes it a 14-10 ball game. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll elect not to run with it. The fair catch will move this out to the 25-yard line. Offense ready to go for their next drive. So for this offense, Charles, remember drive 1 made it to the end zone. Drive 2 resulted in a touchdown as well. Now they'll try to make it 3 for 3.
Yeah, and you know, they told us all week that this was the plan and this is what they wanted to execute. But did they really believe it would happen this well, this efficiently? I know they'll take it. And afterwards they'll say, there's never a doubt in our minds we were going to be successful in this one.
Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
Partner, we always talk about how important 3rd down is, but I think 1st down is equally important because everything comes off of that play. If the defense wins the down, they are able to attack. If the offense wins the down, they might go faster, do other things, and change things up. That big play right there allows this offense to really get in gear.
Murray going to fire one out wide. Now he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A gain of 32 that time.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver. And as this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30.
Cup 19, Cup 19. Check, bomb tag, check, bomb tag.
Here's Murray. And his throw is incomplete. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
Here's 2nd and 10.
Go, Reed, go. Rangers, 70 Rangers, 79 Broncos. Mustang 19.
Shotgun now for Murray. Pass complete there to Nakua. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. Now the Rams will signal for a timeout, their 2nd. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. And the Cardinals, they trot out their dime package for 3rd down.
7 Pirates, 7 Pirates. 60 Mavericks, 60 Mavericks. 19 Lions. Go.
Murray to air it out again. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And out of bounds right around the 20. Back-to-back receptions for him, and it's another first down.
3. Panther 11, Panther 11. Warriors 70. 19 tight. 19 tight. Dragon 60. 60 Bobcat. 60 Bobcat. Ready.
From the red zone, here's the Heisman Trophy winner, Murray. To the goal line, but it's incomplete.
On that snap, he's a hero of his defense after the play he just made. A one-possession game, and his hit kept it exactly that.
On the jump.
After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Trap 50. Trap 50. Buffalo 18. 18. Pioneer.
To throw is Murray. And he comes back with one complete. And he is out of bounds. Looks like right at the 15. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
Okay, ready?
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Now Murray sees something. He's going to change it up.
Check it.
On 3rd down, here's a run by Akers. And he will have the 1st down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. The Rams going to be forced to use their 3rd and final timeout as they get the stoppage with just under 50 seconds remaining in half number 1. Here's Murray, a quick throw complete. So no gain on the play, and it's 2nd and goal. 2 of their 3 red zone trips so far they've come up empty on. They'll look to reverse that trend on 2nd and goal. And he's going to take this one in for a Rams touchdown. Cam Akers, his 11th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Rams will extend their lead in the final minute of the half. Extra point splits the uprights, and that makes it a 21-10 game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think.
And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Cardinals. Hollywood, Marquise Brown. As the first half is winding down. And the Cards are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half. Elliott good on the extra point, and it's now 21-17. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. But no run back here. Fair catch, and this will come out to the 25. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
A final shot before half for Murray. Flush to his right. And he's dropped right at the 40. Gain of 3. First half in the books. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back. Charles and I settled into the booth ready for quarter number 3. Both these offenses have been in fine form. What will the second half bring us as we are underway in quarter 3? And they'll let that one go as it skips through the back of the end zone for a touchback. Ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. Well, Charles, in that first half, we saw a fair amount of offense on both sides of the football, and now the team trailing here will start with it in the third quarter.
And we both know this coach pretty darn well, don't we? Because his game planning is always on point. And now that he's getting the ball to start the second half, how about all the offense that you already referenced in the first half? He'll put that all together and come out with something really strong, I believe, to get things going here in the third quarter.
The last play got just a yard. Here's 2nd and 9 from the 26. To throw, it's Murray. That'll be taken in by Anderson. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 2 catches in the first half. Now he's got a third here, and it's good for a first. It completes it once more to Anderson. Loose inside the 30. And he takes it all the way down to the 22. A huge play there on the screen pass. And even 40 yards. So the big play gets him all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone here for 1st and 10. On the counter, here's Kamara. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. What a difference a play makes. A huge step forward and now a small step back as he loses a yard or 2.
I think this running game, or should I say lack of one, is making this defense look better than what they really are.
In motion right, that's Wilson. Murray flips his forward on a jet sweep. And he's just going to run right into that big old defensive end. And that play going nowhere. This defense not fooled one bit on that touch pass.
And this has become one of those kind of in vogue plays, you know, kind of like the shuffle pass was a few years ago. This one never got off the ground, but you understand why a lot of teams are running it. These wide receivers, a lot of them, they run like running backs with the ball in their hands.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And it's intercepted at the goal line. And the Rams are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. So it was a drive that had real promise here to begin the third quarter, but ultimately derailed by the INT.
And that was the position you wanted to be in. Coming out to start this third quarter, get a nice drive going, looking for the end zone. Possibly got a little bit too greedy right there.
The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And their defense just helped them out by getting the football back on the opening drive here in the second half. And now can the offense follow through with points on their first possession?
And that's a big one for them because after the work the defense has done, they've got a chance here to open up this lead.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Brandon, we talk all the time about those hybrid players, guys who can do more than one thing. And I think if you're playing strong safety in the NFL today, you are a true hybrid. Part linebacker, part cover guy.
And coming up, sticking his nose in the mess there and making a nice play defensively. 2nd down, Murray sets to throw. Going to be taken in here by Nakua. And they nearly get this all the way to midfield. Mark him down at the 49. That'll wind up a gain of 27 on the catch and run.
79 Broncos. Mustang 19. 7 Pirates. 7 Pirates. 60 Mavericks. 60 Mavericks.
Murray now on 1st down. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. Takes this to the 45. Broken tackle. Brought him a little extra space. And that's good for a gain of 6. And that's going to bring up 2nd down.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before you get a good head of steam going.
And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Call that a loss of a yard, and things get a little more difficult here. 3rd and 5.
Panther Street. Panther Street.
Hard
called by the defense there on third down. Just flood the field with extra defensive backs in their dime package. Nowhere to go with the football. Forces the incompletion.
So they're forced to punt on fourth as this one's away. This is fielded at the 7. 35 yards that time on the punt. And the Cards are going to have the football with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. And the points, they have come fast and furious in this quarter.
You really don't want to be on the defensive side of the ball right now, do you? Because you're either thinking, my replacement may get an opportunity.
Your head better be on a swivel.
Totally. Or maybe I just need to get out of the game for a while because I just can't slow these guys down. They've got to figure out a way to disrupt these offenses. And typically, one guy makes a big play, and that can help change things.
They'll be looking for disruption from both sides right now. And this is going to be a Cardinals first down as he gets this up past the 30 to the 32.
Well, they've certainly been successful throwing it around in this game. That's allowed them to move the ball on offense. But I've got to tell you, to watch them run the football and successfully, I'm not taking sides. But to see the ball in a running back's hands, oh, that's football for me.
So after the run by Kamara, now another 1st and 10. In motion right is Wilson. They'll fake it on the jet sweep, and instead a handoff up the middle. And they'll scratch out only about a yard up to the 32. From the 32-yard line now, here's a 2nd down and 9. Here's Murray. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time is now run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Los Angeles. It's Cardinal football, but they trail here as we get set. After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Throwing now is Murray. Pass to the sideline and pulled in. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. A really nice gain of 25 yards. So from Rams territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. That one tipped, and it's incomplete. Good hands there defensively. That's 2nd down.
It sort of looks like they still have some fight in them on this series because it seemed like things were headed for the red zone. But if this defense gets 2 more stops, they can keep them out of that area.
2nd and 10. The Rams going to go ahead and use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this. Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10. Again, they'll throw with Murray. Well, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
Well, it looked like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
Flag comes in. This might be a free play. He's got his target. That's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. So with the completed pass and the yardage they got, they'll decline the penalty.
So obviously more yards on the pass completion than they would have gained with the penalty. They did the math. They did it well. And it worked.
Touchdown! Marquise Brown, 28 yards. And the Cardinals have taken a 4th quarter lead. Elliott good with a PAT. And that gives them a 3-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. The pressure is on now. They're being shut out here in the second half after a decent first half offensively. But they need their best drive of the game right here. Murray now on first down. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's second down.
He did a fine job there of not hitting him before the ball arrived, and I've got to tell you, you can often mistime that play because of the angles of approach. When you're going to get him, sometimes you panic as well and think, I've got to be there right now. Instead, in this case, timed it perfectly and knocked it free.
Go, Reed, go. 65 catch, 65 catch, trap 60, trap 60.
Murray now. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. A gain there of 12 yards and a first down LA.
Ready, go. Three. 18, Pioneer. 18, Rattler. 18, Rattler. Cup 19, Cup 19.
That flag accepted, and it backs the offense up a little bit. So a little bit of a stiffer challenge now. 1st and 15 following the delay of game. Murray going to throw. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. He may go. And they will score. It's a pick six for the Cardinals touchdown. Elliott on for the extra point. And his guys will take a 10-point lead. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone. So we will start here at the 25. Murray trying again after the pick six. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for 1st and 10.
Mustang 19. 7 Pirates, 7 Pirates. Ready.
Here's Murray as he sets to throw it. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he is out of bounds, but not before he's inside the 30. 13 yards as they've got the connection working. His second catch in a row, first down.
60 Maverick, 60 Maverick, 19 Lions, Panther 11, Panther 11. Warriors 70, 19 tight, 19 tight.
Out of the gun, here's Murray. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. And a nice gain of 21 yards.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a one-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting the field.
Touchdown, Rams. A great effort there. He scored on the ground and through the air. And the Rams have made it a one-score game again here in the 4th. Point after, right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this 4th quarter. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Ready ready to go with their next drive, and at the line, the Cardinal offense. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
They know what the 4-minute offense is just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football. I think the best offenses love to give the ball to their running backs in open space because they have the ability to make people miss, and they also have the ability to run over people. And if you do that throughout the game, after a while, they might just run through some of those tackles and go a long way.
Well, we saw him shed a nice tackle on that play. Now Murray. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Cardinals. Trey McBride, 66 yards. And the Cardinals use the big play to extend their fourth quarter lead. Elliott good on the extra point, and his guys will take a 10-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. Fair catch going to be taken, and this will be moved out to the 25. The LA offense ready to go for their next drive. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical. First down, Murray. Looking right sideline, that's complete. And out of bounds on the other side of midfield at the 45. Give him 30 yards there.
Well, this game has certainly had no shortage of offense. Both teams have been revved up from the start. And here's yet another big play. Boy, both defenses have just got to be dragging out there because they've been run ragged throughout.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Oh, this defense knows. Fourth quarter, they need to make a play. That one was ripe for the taking. Could have changed the complexion of the ball game, but it winds up incomplete.
Murray looks to throw again, 2nd and 10. Wide open receiver complete. And they're going to have another first down as the tackle's made here at the Cardinals' 27-yard line. Murray now to throw. Touchdown! A great play there. 27 yards. And the Rams have got it back to within a score. Extra point right down the middle. And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And they'll get him down inside the 30 at the 27. Arizona's offense at the line, ready to get their drive started. Their lead back down to 1 score after the touchdown a moment ago. First down's a must on this drive as they start out here 1st and 10. And they're able to get this one across the 35. And this defense here going to burn their 2nd timeout. But you can also factor in another timeout that they'll get when the clock stops at the 2-minute warning. Throwing on first down is Murray. A hit as he throws there, incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better, 2 weeks in a row? You have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
Was that a design pass, or what was that?
It was built into the play call. He had the opportunity to either hand it inside, keep it himself to run it, or do what he just did. Throw that pass inside, hitting a receiver on the run.
Come on.
Murray to throw on 3rd and 1. He's going deep for Brown. And unable to connect. Incomplete. Now give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
They decided the opportunity was there and launched a deep ball, but he was unable to get away from the defender. Couldn't create space, couldn't uncover at the end of the route, and that one winds up incomplete.
And here's a big one now. Trying to hold this lead. They're going to go for it here on 4th down. They'll go for it and run a little touch pass here. And now this is going to depend on the spot. And they say he's just short. And the gadget play here on 4th down winds up backfiring. And the Rams get the football in outstanding field position. Here's 1st and 10. They'll go with Akers here up the middle. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Partner, you got about 20 coaches on your payroll, but there's 60,000 of them in the stands. I don't think any of them like that play.
And the later we go, it's starting to sound like 100,000 in here. They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long.
Cup 19! Cup 19! Hurry, hurry!
Back to throw. Murray. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. That's so much for the prevent, Charles. That's what a lot of defenses would have been, and not these guys. They bring the blitz.
Yeah, they decided to be a team of action, not laying back and letting something possibly happen to them. They wanted to be the ones to enforce on this play, and they went ahead and got after him.
He's going to float this over the middle, deep. Touchdown, Rams. A big play there. 48 yards. And the Rams have retaken the lead. The extra point splits the uprights, and that will make this a 4-point game. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. And that one will bounce out of the back of the end zone, so we will start here at the 25. This is 1st and 10. To throw is Murray. That's caught by Wilson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Nice, well-coached, a team that understands what's going on. They still have time to work the middle of the field as they just did there.
Now Murray. This is taken in by McBride. The Cardinals going to use the first of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. 2 timeouts still available in this final minute. It's 1st and 10 now. Murray to throw. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
That's certainly not the worst thing. It stops the clock and lets your offense catch its breath and lets us exhale a little bit.
Now I expect them to call a couple plays in the huddle, so they're ready if a tackle happens inbounds.
They'll roll him out right. Toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. Those are the kinds of plays right there that show you why he's the number 3 man in the NFL in terms of receiving yards.
Also tells you there's a full combination of what he's got going in his game. You name it, from route running to catching the football. That's why he's able to produce those types of numbers.
Now the Cards going to call another timeout, their second, as the clock will stop with 34 seconds to go in the game. They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of, until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball.
And this is caught. Touchdown. And they've taken the lead here in the final minute. Now an important extra point here to stretch this lead to a field goal. He's got it. And this is indeed up to a 3-point lead. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And the fair catch taken. No time will come off the clock. And they will begin this critical drive at the 25-yard line. They'll come up 1st and 10 here.
Check, Bobcat, check, Bobcat. Rig alert, Mustang 19. 7 Pirates, 60 Maverick, 19 Lions, Panther 11.
Back to throw. Oh, and that's going to sabotage their comeback plans. It is intercepted. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. CD, I know it's just his second year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, second year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And that knee will do it. So they snap the losing streak. Always a good feeling.
Yeah, I don't know if this one right here, when they're taking a knee, is as much exultation as exhalation, right? They just breathe a sigh of relief. Finally got a win. Needed one desperately.
Charles, normally when you see a group score this many points, it's a complete blowout. But instead, they needed every single one of those in this close, high-scoring affair.
And Brandon, I'm still on the edge of my seat after that one, because when you have that much scoring and it still comes down to one possession game at the end, that's not something we see very often. In this case, these offenses, they brought it. The defenses, they're going to need some work going forward.
So for the Cards, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they hit the 10-win mark now at 10-5. So that'll do it for us. For Charles Davis and all our crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin.